I have a few things to talk about today. Nikon's new power zoom lens, no camera release at NAB, and some updates that will be coming to other Nikon cameras. So let's talk about those. By now you've seen the release of the new Nikon power zoom lens, the 12 to 28mm f3.5 to 5.6. Now this is something different, and it's not something that Nikon has had in the lineup before. It's a power zoom lens. It's also internal focusing and internal zoom in, which is a really good thing. They say it's made for content creators, and as most of us know, we've been hearing talk about Nikon doing more for the video side of things, and we've seen that they've put out the Z30 as a camera for content creators. Now a lot of us complain that they didn't do a great job on this camera because it had no image stabilization, no IBIS built in, and the lens that they came out with, it was okay. So here they've kind of stepped up the game and given us something a little bit better by adding the power zoom function. Now this here is the Sony 16 to 35 f4. This lens is a full frame lens. It also has power zoom. Sony also has a 10 to 20mm APS-C lens, which is a power zoom lens. What I like about the Nikon lens is it gives you a little bit bigger range. It's from 14 to 28. The form factor seems a bit big when you see it on the Z30. Now that kind of got me thinking, if Nikon is making this new power zoom lens, and they say they're making it for content creator, we've been seeing them pushing the Z30 a lot over the past few months. We have been hoping, well, I've been hoping that they'll put something out on the full frame side that's much better. We have yet to see anything at this juncture. But it also has me thinking, could they possibly be going on a route like Sony and making some kind of cinema camera, and yes, I said cinema camera, for content creators that is APS-C based? Maybe not cinema camera, but definitely something to chase down the Sonys and the Canons that are doing APS-C cameras for content creation use. Now we've seen a Canon camera came out with no IBIS. Will Nikon step up their game and add IBIS in whatever APS-C camera they release? If they don't, at least they have this one lens they can start with. Now this is going to be a part of their content creator lens lineup. So let's see what comes out in the future. Let's talk about NAB. Let me say it, I was wrong. I was very hopeful that Nikon would put something out at NAB, but sadly, that did not happen. I'm a bit bummed about it, really I am. I was hoping at least they would do something, some. Let me pop in here real quick and give an update. While I did not make the 1,000 goal at the end of March, I did hit 100 subscribers total for the month of March. So I'd like to thank everyone who subscribed to the channel for helping me to do so. We're now in April, and I'm going to ask the same thing again. I'd like to be able to hit that 1,000 goal by the end of the month. Hopefully, all you guys are watching the channel and not subscribed will go ahead and get subscribed. I'm about 100 subscribers away from making that goal, but I'll be happy with 150 so we can surpass that goal and get there. So thanks again to everyone who's been watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and please remember, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. All right, let's get back to the video. So what does it mean? Just have to wait until May. According to the last Nikon rumors, it'll be between now and sometime in May or mid-May before we see a Z8, Z, whatever they're gonna call it, comes out. So we're gonna be on the fence holding off for that one. Now, there's something that I noticed when I was watching the presentation for the new power zoom lens. And you've heard me talk about, I think they're gonna do a massive firmware update for the Z6. When this lens was released and the people who've been testing it and put out videos, they basically said that you can use like the zoom buttons on the back of the camera or the wheel on the lens to operate the power zoom. But seemingly, these cameras, or the lens has only been tested on the Z30, not on any of the cameras. I've been watching the videos that have been out so far to see if anybody put in the Z6 to see what that would look like. Because of course, if you have a lens with power zoom functionality and vibration reduction or image stabilization, and you pair that with the image stabilization in the Z6, Z7, two versions, you can probably get some better performance out of the camera. Granted, we know that Nikon stabilization isn't the best, but pairing that with a lens that has vibration reduction in it, I think we could see something really good out of that. Let me put something in here for you guys to take a look at. Well, the past few days I've been in Hong Kong, been running around with John, having fun, and I've been shooting some stuff. The videos are going to be coming out. I just haven't had time to edit them just yet. But I wanted to show you guys this one as I'm walking on the street with the A7R5 and the 24-105 lens. This lens has optical image stabilization, or optical steady shot, built into it. And when I was walking, I was just testing it out to see what was going on, and it was pretty stable. Now, I remember they said the combination with lens with vibration reduction, image stabilization on the Sony side would give us about 8 stops of stabilization. We've seen people shoot photos 1/10 to 1/5 of a second, and they come out looking pretty good. So this is my first time really putting it to the test and walking down the street with it, and you know, it reminds me of that new Panasonic Lumix. I've seen other people test the camera and walk with it, and you can kind of see slide up and down. There is some there as well, but it can be corrected in post. What you guys just saw, there was no post in this. This was just straight out of the camera. Nothing edited in Catalyst Browse to smooth out the footage. This is just straight out of the camera. Now this next batch is going to be with the stabilization done in the software, so you guys can see what the difference is. Now I'll say this. I've complained about the Z6 not having, well, my Z6 II not having image stabilization that's up to snuff. If Nikon is making an APS-C lens at this level with vibration reduction, I think it's only a matter of time for them to do it on the full frame side. If their focus is really on the video side, and this is something that they've been chasing, I think they will give us what we want. And the reason why I'm saying it also is because as I'm looking through the patent, some of the things that I've been reading here on the 12 to 28 power zoom are some of the same terminologies that I've seen in the patent. Now, when I saw that, I thought that was for a longer lens, you know, like a longer telephoto lens. I didn't expect it on this small lens, but here we are, small lens with vibration reduction. So let's think about the 14-30, for example, the 14 to 30 millimeter f4 on the Nikon side. I had that lens. It was a really nice lens. The one thing that I didn't like about it is that you had to twist it to get it to unlock before you could start using it. The length was fine. Imagine if they could redesign that lens, give it vibration reduction, make everything internal focusing at the same size. Maybe slightly larger than it is when it's, you know, it's closed down. I think that would be a really good option. We know they've been doing some Tamron lenses that are lighter, and as part of the creator lineup, those are the lenses that they're saying that are content creator lenses. They haven't shown any of the S-line lenses, the 24-7 2.8 or those type of things. So yeah, I think we may be seeing some new things coming out. And in addition to that, why I say there's going to be firmware updates, because something I noticed also is that during the presentation, there was a red bar around the screen for recording. I can see it on my Sony camera right now. This is something I know they put on the Z9. So when you're recording, you can at a glance look at the screen and see that, hey, it's actually recording. I'm hoping for tally lights. Tally lights would be good, but if no tally lights, at least if they had that, you can flip the screen around. And of course, that means they need to give a screen that flips around, right? If you have that, that's good. If they do the update to the Z6, Z7, Z7 II, Z6 II, and they just put the red border around it, that's also helpful to let you know when things are recorded. Yeah, you don't have the screen flipped around, but at least you can look down and say, hey, things are working, it's doing what it's doing at a quick glance. Because sometimes when you're recording, if it's on a tripod, you're not looking at the screen the entire time. But at a quick glance, you can tell that something go wrong. Was the camera overheating? Did it shut down? That kind of thing. Right now, if the only camera that has this is a Z30, and according to my, Mr. Irwin, he basically said that this was a pre-production firmware that it was tested on the Z30. So the Z30 is going to have a firmware update to get it out there by the time the lens is shipping for people to use it. So I think we should also look for something on the other cameras as well. Yeah, you can record on the Z6 and Z7 II with a crop sensor lens at 4K. So why not? if you can have that functionality in a lens that's stable. Again, I'm always talking about extending the life of that Z6 II and Z7 II. Image stabilization is something that they could really use some help with, and if they can get the lens and tweak the IBIS inside the camera to make it better, win-win all around. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious to hear your comments. Put them below. Let me know if you think that this lens would be a good lens for the Z6 II as much as I think it is, and if it's something you would buy, or would you be waiting for the next one that comes from Nikon, next content creator full frame lens with vibration reduction built into it? Should it have power zoom? Do you want power zoom? I can tell you, having it on this lens, I like it. When I'm filming, I'm walking around, I don't have to twist anything and throw them off my balance. I can just tilt up the little switch that's here and tilt it down for zooming in and zooming out, and it makes it so much easier because it doesn't require much pressure to do it. I'm happy Nikon is doing it on one of the lens. I hope to see it on more. And this is not an APS-C lens, it's a full frame lens. So if Nikon can incorporate that and keep the lens in a smaller size like this, right around 3-4 inches long, hey, I think they could have a winner on their hands. Okay folks, thanks for watching the channel. Please remember to hit the thumbs up to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. I'll see you in the next video.